Hello everyone! This year TSP rolled out a Roth in-plan conversion feature, and I want to show you what this feature can potentially mean for federal professionals. My name is Warren Covert. I'm the founder and principal advisor at Global Fiduciary Partners, a financial planning and investment management firm that works primarily with federal professionals. And in this video, I want to walk you through a short case study. We're looking at a household that plans to retire in their mid-50s. And what we're looking at here in the blue graph is this household's projected taxable income throughout their career and throughout their retirement. And throughout their career, they saved in their traditional TSP accounts. Also in their career, they were in the 22% federal income tax bracket, as you see here. Everything above the green line gets taxed at 22%, everything below gets taxed at 12%. So when they retire, or when they plan to retire at their mid-50s, their taxable income drops to the 12% federal income tax bracket. That doesn't mean they suddenly have less money available. It means that in retirement they begin drawing income from multiple sources, and not all those sources count as taxable income. And by saving primarily in their traditional TSP, this household effectively deferred paying taxes while they were working and while they were paying 22%. A Roth conversion means taking some of your tax-deferred savings and recognize them as income today or in some determined point in the future, and you recognize that income by paying income taxes on it. And a Roth conversion means moving those funds from your traditional TSP into your Roth account. And once the funds are inside the Roth account, they can grow tax-free for as long as they remain there. When you eventually withdraw those funds, both the principal and the investment gains are tax-free and no longer count towards your ordinary income. In this example, the household wants to do Roth conversions early in retirement, up until around age 70, when their income increases again because they begin collecting Social Security. So we approach this from a tactical standpoint, and we'll look at what happens if they only convert during the years when their taxable income is still below the 12% income tax bracket. So we're going to fill that 12% income tax bracket all the way up, but do not escalate into the 22% bracket. So when we run this model, the results are pretty significant. By using this strategy, the household ends up with about $780,000 more in tax-free Roth assets than they would have otherwise. And remember, that is money that they already earned, they already saved. Just by choosing when to recognize some of those funds as income is where they see the real benefits happen. And that's not the only benefit though. Later in life, required minimum distributions or RMDs begin. So if you have tax-deferred savings accounts like the traditional TSP, the IRS eventually requires you to start withdrawing money from those accounts. And when you withdraw those funds, they are taxed as ordinary income. That's why you see taxable income spiking later in retirement. This is where Social Security starts, and the second bump here is where RMDs start. So in this example, their taxable income, without doing any Roth conversions, reaches the 24% federal income tax bracket when they are around 77, 78. However, when rolling some of the traditional funds here into the Roth account, this household won't reach that 24% federal income tax bracket until they are about 83 to 84. We'll see everything here above this yellow line gets taxed at 24%. RMDs also quickly end up costing a lot of money. This is the total value of RMDs this household is required to withdraw throughout the retirement, which the blue, without any Roth conversions, quickly ends up being. We have here $117,000 goes all the way up to $250,000. Because remember, there is decades worth of compounding that has happened in these TSP, so RMDs can really increase the older you get. However, by rolling some of their traditional funds over to their Roth accounts, they reduce their RMDs significantly by about $900,000 over the course of their retirement. And here the value of those RMDs significantly less than if they would not have done any Roth conversions. The third benefit here is the savings they realize on their lifetime federal income tax bill. By choosing to recognize some of that income when they're living in the 12% federal income tax bracket, they effectively reduce their income tax bill by almost $200,000 over the course of their retirement. See here, the blue is the amount of tax they pay without doing any Roth conversions, and the green is the amount of tax they pay when they do Roth conversions. And you'll see here their tax bill spikes slightly when they do the conversions, but if we look here in retirement, the tax bill is significantly less than when they would not do any Roth conversions. So strategies like this are possible for federal professionals who have savings in their TSP. And by strategically converting some of those assets into Roth accounts, you may be able to reduce taxes later and keep more of the wealth that you've built. If you'd like to learn more about how those strategies might apply to your situation, feel free to contact me or book a time to chat through the link in my profile. And if you found this video helpful, consider giving it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.